Field, and it is a hazy, hot and humid 11 o'clock hour. Take a look. Right now, temperature still in the 80s, but it feels like 91, and it's going to get hotter, folks. Dangerously hot throughout the week. We need to get to the weekend even to find a break. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Profit, along with Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. Ben, so how hot are we expected to get tomorrow, and what about tonight? Not going to cool off much.
It is not, Doug. And today was our third day in the 90s. We made it to 95 today. Looks like around 96 tomorrow, and even hotter for Thursday and Friday. So likely 4 more days in the 90s, totaling 7 days in a row. And again, feeling like 91. You can see the haze in the lights here over Slugger Field with the mugginess that we have out there and that really high humidity that's going to stay with us for the rest of this week as well. We are certainly not alone. We're on the edge of the heat wave. These are all the excessive heat warnings surrounded by heat advisories. We have another heat advisory for tomorrow and an excessive heat warning for Thursday and Friday. At this late hour, 91 here. Still feels like 103 in the middle of that heat wave in St. Louis. Muggy tonight, 75 that low temperature. Already near 90 by lunchtime again tomorrow, and our high temperature forecast will be up to 96 and that heat index around 100 to 105. Of course, a lot more heat to talk about, but I'll show you that relief eventually on the way as well coming up.
Nobody wants to ride a bus. They don't want their kids on a bus because they never know when they're going to get home.
That's becoming the story of this week. This important week of the return to school continues. Busing issues with JCPS causing a new headache for parents. Long pickup lines of cars. Take a look here. Families in Valley Station telling us they are waiting almost an hour to pick up their students. Well, some families we talked with tonight say they just don't trust the buses, instead switching their kids to be car riders after the transportation disaster on the first day of August 9th. Tonight, JCPS says all bus riders were dropped off by 7:13 p.m. tonight. That's 35 minutes earlier than the final drop-off time last night of 7:48. Well, WHAS11 night teams Taylor Woods and photojournalist Emma Gefter spoke with families tonight still having issues. You saw those long lines of cars and buses wrapped around some of those schools, Taylor.
Yeah, well, Doug, some parents and grandparents tell me the car rider lines are getting longer as many parents have fear for their students on the bus ride to and from home. But they aren't the only ones. One parent with students with special needs says she feels ignored since they have still not been assigned a bus this year.
In Valley Station, long lines of waiting cars. They are bumper to bumper. Anxious parents waiting outside of Medora Elementary School. Cars full of parents, grandparents, and guardians.
And there's a cross guard down there. They're doing the best they can, but it's just nobody wants to ride a bus. They don't want their kids on a bus because they never know when they're going to get home.
The car line is long because there's one way in and one way out.
Because our parking lot's so small, we can't get all the car riders in the parking lot.
Leaving car riders with no choice but to wait.
Well, yesterday I waited an hour and 15 minutes just as a car rider.
Wow.
It's that bad.
Yesterday I was in here for about 40 minutes.
Some grandparents like Keith McDonald are just hoping Jefferson County Public Schools work out the long bus rides very soon.
I just wish they would take care of it so my grandson could get back on a bus and I could meet him at the bus stop instead of picking him up every day.
But other parents across the city feel left in the dark.
It seems like we've been ignored, but nothing's really been talked about our special needs kids.
Courtney Sclair of Linden has 2 JCPS high school special needs students at the Phoenix School of Discovery on Wood Road. They have not been assigned a bus.
The first time I ever heard from transportation was yesterday. For the first time, and they offered me a gas card to help me out until they could provide us transportation.
Sclair says she wasn't given an estimated time frame when her children will have a bus, but she's hoping the commute to and from school is just a temporary fix.
It's not just about the reimbursement for gas money, it's the time taken away from work for me and my family to help out and do this when they're supposed to be providing the transportation to begin with.
Now, one of those parents I spoke to say they will put their students back on the bus once the bus issues are resolved. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Taylor, thank you. New tonight on the night team. JCPS has now formally launched that app you've been hearing so much about. It'll help parents and guardians track their students' school bus real time. The district sent out the information on how to download and use the app to school families tonight. It is called EduLog Parent Portal Lite. Again, EduLog Parent Portal Lite. We found some parents were already using the app yesterday after getting the code off social media. Others started using it today to track the ride to school.
We had access to the bus tracker this morning, and I literally followed her bus from the time that she got picked up at 6:19 on the dot till she got to school at 7:19, 7:20. It took a big stressor off my shoulders, for sure.
Well, good to hear it's working so far. According to an order form provided to WHAS11 News through an open records request, the district is spending $192,000 on EduLog Parent Portal Lite. An additional $50,000 will pay for the implementation and the project management. More local news tonight. UPS Teamsters have approved their historic contract that'll mean raises for employees right here at Louisville Worldport and across the country. The Teamsters says 86% of members voted to ratify the 5-year deal. Locally, nearly 80% of Louisville's union members voted in favor, according to a breakdown shared by the Teamsters. The contract gives every full and part-time employee a $2.75 raise. It also bumps minimum wage for new part-time employees to $21 an hour. And in this extreme heat, every truck will have 2 fans inside going forward, and all new vehicles will have air conditioning. Louisville Metro homicide detectives are looking for suspects after a man was found dead in a backyard today. Officers responded to calls about a shooting at about 2:30 this afternoon on No Way. That's off Hikes Lane in the Bon Air neighborhood. When they got there, they found the man dead with several gunshot wounds. Police tell us the suspect or suspects ran off before officers got there. If you have any information about the shooting, you can help detectives by calling the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD or use the online portal. Also, the LMPD homicide unit has taken over the investigation into a deadly shooting in Linden of eastern Jefferson County this morning. The Linden Police Chief Rob Schroeder says officers originally responded to a call about a suspicious vehicle in an apartment complex near Westport Middle School off Westport Road at about 7:30 this morning. Once they got there, they found a man shot dead inside the car in the parking lot. If you have any information about the case, you're asked to call LMPD. Police in Radcliffe, Kentucky say an officer there is recovering after he was dragged while conducting a traffic stop. Chief Jeffrey Cross says last night Officer Ryan Boyd was conducting the stop on Centennial Avenue when the 17-year-old suspect drove off. Officer Boyd was taken to U of L Hospital for his injuries, but Chief Cross told us this afternoon he's doing well. The suspect was arrested, but not identified because of his age. And we do have tonight new body camera video, but we do also want to warn you right here that the video could be distressing to some. It is the very moment Louisville Metro police officers rescue a woman chained to the floor of a house in the Park Hill neighborhood. This case is a great example of why it's so important that if you see something, to say something.
Go down? Yeah. I got a bunch of loose. Which windows to kick out?
Officers say neighbors called police when they heard a woman screaming from the window of a Bowling Avenue home last Wednesday. Officers tried to kick down the door, but they found every entrance barricaded. You can see here the woman breaking out the second-story window. Eventually, officers then climbed, as they're doing here, climbed up a ladder to get inside, and what they found was horrific.
Where's the key out here?
He's got it on his feet. And he's got it on his feet.
Inside the home, police discovered the woman there with a chain around her neck, bolted to the floor. Officers used a hatchet to break the chain. They got her out of the room and used bolt cutters to get that chain off. Well, police have arrested 37-year-old Moises May in connection with this incident. He's facing several charges, including kidnapping, wanton endangerment, and assault. He has pleaded not guilty. The NFL kicks off in just a few weeks, and for the first time ever, Kentuckians will be able to place their bets on the games. Today, the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission approved licenses for in-person facilities and apps and websites for sports betting. Travis Breeze and photojournalist Jessica Farley in Lexington break down when you can start betting.
Please indicate by responding yes. Yes.
More unanimous approvals by the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission. This time approving 12 operator licenses for racetracks and 8 service provider licenses for online sports books. Each of these licenses is temporary, but the KHRC expects formal applications for next year to be filed within the next 2 weeks. The service providers will cover a mix of both retail and online platforms.
Caesars is an example of that. Caesars will be running the book at Red Mile and will have a mobile application.
In addition to Caesars, FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstool, and Fanatics are all entering the market.
And they're going to have internal controls that guarantee that the wagerer is of age.
While Kentucky lawmakers said that age should be 18, the gambling sites say otherwise.
A lot of these service providers have indicated to us that it's going to be 21 and up. Even though we have the 18 and up ability, it seems that most, if not all, are going to head down that 21 and up route.
Kentucky residents can sign up for these sites beginning August 28th, put money in their accounts September 7th, and then hopefully place their first online bets September 28th. The brick and mortar locations will open first. The plan is still to have those first retail sports books open on September 7th. That is the first Thursday night football game of the NFL season. In Lexington, Travis Breeze, WHAS11 on your side.
And the state says sports betting is expected to increase Kentucky's revenue by an estimated $23 million a year once it's fully in place. Well, drivers from Kentucky to Indiana are going to have a much easier drive across the Sherman Minton thanks to this. The lane's upper deck now open. The renewal team has reopened the westbound lane right on the top deck of the bridge. Look at that view, restoring also access to the New Albany exit. Yeah, you can get into New Albany now. We drove the First Alert Storm Team Beast over the bridge late today to give you this view. You can see construction is still happening on other lanes of the top deck of the Sherman Minton. This is the final lane to reopen after crews shut down the entire bridge on July 27th. There will still be some nightly lane closures, including one scheduled for this Friday.